Until very recently, I've been very fond of setting goals. It was partially due to my Pokemon Go career, in which goal setting was paramount. However, I have changed my mind since December last year. Outside of kind and stable environments, such as games, goals cause more harm than good. If the goal is not within 95% of your control, you're much better off not pursuing it at all. I'm going to present to you 5 reasons why it is the case. Number 1, you simply cannot predict the future. And especially if you're making a living out of forecasting, you need to hear this again. You simply cannot predict the future. The modern world consists of infinite variables and factors that determine the future outcome, whether the butterfly effect or pure randomness. Moreover, black swans exist that can throw your entire worldview and living upside down at any moment. Past performance does not indicate the future. You might argue that there was some logic behind and between the events in the past. If so, you have become subject to the narrative fallacy and hindsight bias, connecting dots when there were none. In truth, it was surprises and unexpected events that guided you. This news is not depressing, but extremely liberating. You never have to worry ever again because you cannot predict the future. So there's a double-edged sword. You can anticipate it, but both you can also gain much better than what you initially thought. So make the best of what you have right now instead. So that was number 1. Number 2, you do not know what you want. You probably heard the imbecile expectations of you should have everything figured out by now, and you should know you're all about, and match your pre-existing passion with the reality, which is pure nonsense. The truth is, you do not know what you want until you have tested it. It's like having oysters and hating oysters when you have not eaten a single one. You haven't even got it a try. Furthermore, you and society change over time, which is good. Imagine what you have dreamt of in the early 1900s. In other words, do not set a vision until you're willing, or unless you're willing, to update it very often. Just experiment and do what is good now and good later. So that was first number 1, cannot predict the future. Number 2, you do not know what you want. Number 3, you restrict reality and miss serendipitous moments. There is an ancient Greek story of Procrustes, who invited travelers for an overnight stay into beds of a certain size. Procrustes chopped off the legs if the travelers were too tall and stretched them if they were too small, rather than changing the beds. And in The Bed of Procrustes, the best-selling book by Nassim Taleb, he argued that most of us try to fit reality into our worldview and mental models instead of the opposite. So we are torturing reality, in other words. We have this uncompromising set of beliefs and defend a futile battle with flesh and blood. Insights, opportunities, and innovations, such as the internet, are unplanned, outside the worldview. A positive feedback loop exists when you stop predicting and start innovating. You can achieve more with less and gain more resources to tinker further with innovation. In other words, have a flexible mind. Realize that you will win greatly by abandoning old beliefs and dreams that do not serve you at this moment. Embrace the unexpected. So number 4, you become miserable. By setting goals and vision, you tell your subconscious mind that your current existence is inferior to the greener grass. To add insult to injury, you become miserable when you fail to achieve your goals because of changes in circumstances or other priorities. And this attitude, and it's very common the more ambitious you are, of chasing after mirages is destructive, since you're never truly happy, relaxed, and fulfilled. You're also extremely fragile, since outside events often destroy your well thought out plans. I personally experienced tenfold happiness when I let go of plans, expectations, and objectives. And it became better too. I can actually do them without expectation. I was better off adjusting to what is true right now in this wicked environment. If you want to achieve true peace of mind, I recommend doing the same. So now we covered number 1, simply cannot predict the future. Number 2, you do not know what you want. Number 3, restrict reality. Number 4, become miserable. The last, number 5, is the goal setting does not lead you to success anyways. What do I mean by that? The prominent professor Saraswati has conducted many studies on how entrepreneurs succeed. And in a certain cited paper, she coined the term effectuation as an alternative to goal setting. Instead of goal setting, successful entrepreneurs think bottom up. They start from reality and what they have. And they mitigate detrimental risks, work with people with complementary skill sets, and take advantage of the unexpected, which is the way to go for you. A classic example of causation, which goal setting in that matter, versus effectuation, take advantage of what is right in front of you and adjusting to the present, is cooking a meal. Instead of knowing what food will be at the end and how to follow the recipe, you can instead check your fridge and make a dish from whatever is in there. Repeat that many times and you're inventing new delicious dishes and get credit for them. Tomorrow's post will give you a step-by-step guide, and also in video and episode form, on how to embrace effectuation, live happily in the present moment, and most of all, abolish expectations.